After all of that, we find ourselves here. G2 take a free 3-0 lead and hold a decent economic advantage over Fish. I want to highlight once again, look how little money Fish have after they buy up for this round. These kinds of little economic mistakes add up, and avoiding them can help you avoid losing games through pure attrition. In this round, G2 play 3B2A and have their Jett player Mixwell set for an early peek down long B. This is a very standard play, especially with the lethality of the operator played alongside Jett's toolkit. Fish 123 show us the power of Sova's recon dart as a tool to push enemies off of angles. I find that often people would default to using this ability as a means of just flying it into sites or common areas in an attempt to get an idea of where enemies are. However, you may get more value out of it by almost treating it like a flashbang. If you shoot it into common angles, it will cause people to immediately peel, shoot the dart and give away their position, or both. Mixwell does just this. They hear the dart fly in and don't hesitate to use both their Sage Wall and a Jett Dash to get off of long fast. The dart from Link was so effective that it causes a mistake here. G2 didn't need to use that Sage Wall, which is very valuable utility, possibly wasted seconds into the round. Let's pause it right here. At this point, when G2 peel off a bog and use the wall early, Fish are in an amazing position for this round. They have intel on at least 2 people towards long, specifically Sage and Jett. Now, because they're pros who play each other frequently, they also know that G2 plays 3B2A as their standard setup. In your matchmaking games this early on in a map, you probably won't know that, but it bears noting. Fish are set up with 3 players around B, with the remaining 2 and the spike in attacker areas outside of A. In this position, they inadvertently put G2 into the mindset that they are executing B. Watch how Mixwell and David P immediately rotate to contest inside of Hookah, expecting Fish players to be challenging quickly. Fish, however, just turn and burn towards A with no delicacy or care whatsoever. Normally I wouldn't mind this play. They use Soulcast's Raze ultimate to take care of the only G2 player on site. There's a few massive flaws here, however. Fish 123 have sent no one into showers, only one player to push in after the plant. They have no knowledge of defenders that far up and essentially ignore it. They opt instead for one of the most common strats in all of Valorant, walling off the truck plant and isolating the entire A side away from the spike. I'm not going to dance around this. I personally hate this strat, and there's a few main reasons. The first being a topic covered in my TSM video previously, spreading out and differentiating angles in the post plant. If you were to play this round how Fish 123 has, look at where you can stand once the spike is down. You have U-Haul behind these boxes on site, deep in short A, or in the short A cubby. You've cut off more than 3/4 of the bomb site and just gave it to the defenders to regroup and methodically execute their retake. The second reason I don't like this strat is its predictability. I see this strat multiple times a game at a casual and pro level, and once you've done it more than once, you really open yourself up to being exploited. Should the defense have a Raze, here's how that truck plan goes. If it's a Brimstone with an ultimate, you can bet there's Hellfire coming your way, and not to mention, just people ripping through the Sage Wall. The way the strat is executed normally is just way too easy to counterplay, which happens here. G2 just wait till they're ready to execute the retake, get their trees in U-Haul as well as showers, and get the defuse. Now that I've made it clear why I don't like this execute, I want to show you some alterations I would make to make it a higher win condition strategy. The first is exploiting the blind spot that Heaven has towards the defender spawn. This short A push is always done with Heaven being smoked and U-Haul being taken. Fish do this, and had Soulcast done one thing differently, I think Fish have a much higher likelihood of winning. When you exit U-Haul on the defender side of the site, Heaven can no longer safely peek you, meaning that you have to worry about only 2 angles: defenders towards the Ready Night boxes by showers, and close on the corner of U-Haul by the spawn connector. If you or a teammate can get this control, one person can now occupy a nasty off angle here. Because most defenses in retaking on the short A push are unlikely to expect aggression towards spawn, you can punish that. It may be nothing more than 1 frag in a trade, but if you can disrupt the defense just setting up on the other side of the Sage Wall and steamrolling through, you've automatically made the round much more in your favor. You've also spread out more as a team, and made it not nearly as congested as having 5 people wriggling around short A and U-Haul just waiting for fights. This type of decision making in the post plant can win you rounds when done right, so get creative guys. Strats are not set in stone, and if you can innovate, you can get more wins.